Hi, this is CK at CK Education with today's advice for life. This is advice for high school students who want to go to college and who are considering scholarships. And so, a lot of people every year, a lot of students ask about this and say, there's a lot of websites out there, there's a lot of scholarship programs, and which one should I apply to, and which ones am I going to get the big scholarships on? How do I get a full ride? And people ask this all the time, and I always tell them the same thing. The ones that are out there on the websites and on, if you have to write an essay or if you have to put in an application and you're one of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 students who are doing it, and they're only giving out two or three or five, and these scholarships are usually pretty small. If they're $500 here, $1,000 here, $2,000 here. Look, colleges cost a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars each year. And if you're going to an out-of-state private school, sometimes they cost $60,000, $70,000 a year. And yeah, with financial aid, maybe you pay less, but still, they cost a lot of money. And I always say, how many of those $1,000 or $500 scholarships do you have to make any dent in your college expenses? I mean, you got to get a lot of those. And what's the chance of getting even one of them? Very, 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 very low. I mean, I've been doing college prep consulting for over 12 years now, my 13th year. I've been doing it since 2009. And I've taught over 20,000 hours personally, teaching students one-on-one and guiding them, not just with SAT, but with their college applications and essays and financial aid and the whole process. And I can tell you, in my experience and observation, the chances of getting one of those little scholarships where you write write an essay and try to get, those are pennies. I mean, it's going to be nothing. So how do you get the big ones? Because I've had students get full rides. I've had students get tens of thousands of dollars per year in scholarships. How does that happen? Where did they go? And what did they apply for to get those kinds of scholarships? And my answer is very simple. They didn't go to any websites. They didn't do anything extra. What they did was they were, first of all, excellent students. They had excellent GPAs. They had stellar SAT scores. They had pretty good extracurriculars, but it's mostly merit scholarships that colleges give. That's where the big ones come in. Let me just give you a profile of one of my students. She was an Indian student, and she got a full ride to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And a lot of students apply to North Carolina, Chapel Hill, don't get in. It's a very difficult school to get in because it's so many kids apply, and it's a very, very popular school. So is Duke, by the way, of course, in North Carolina. But Chapel Hill is one of those schools, man. Every kid, almost, I don't know, the vast majority of students who do pretty well, they all want to apply there. So it's really hard to get in, much less get a full ride there. But how did she get, this Indian student, how did she get a full ride? Well, she had a great GPA. She had a great SAT score. She had great extracurriculars. Now, when I say extracurriculars, I'm not talking about like a lot of people think, well, she did a lot of things. It's not that she did a lot of things. She did a few things, but she did one thing in particular that over a long period of time. And she was involved in the Muslim Students of America, and she became president there. I think she was like the regional president of 7 chapters. She really was into this. She also wrote a great college essay. Her story was compelling because when she was a little kid, when she was maybe, I don't know, I think she was around 12 years old or something like that, around that age, it was soon after September 11th, the terrorist attacks in New York City and the Pentagon and Pennsylvania, that it hit. And this sort of Islamophobia was going around. A lot of ignorant people were saying a lot of stupid things. And there were some people who came to her house at night, banged on their door, trashed their lawn, and scared the crap out of their family. They called the police, and she went through this real thing. And we wrote about that. And it was a very compelling, personal, emotional story, and it was absolutely real and true. And we wrote that. So it's just all around. She was a very active, and that experience didn't deter her. It didn't intimidate her. In fact, it made her even more determined to raise awareness and cultural awareness, and just let people know that the religion and the culture that she grew up in and she lives is not the kind that prompted people to fly planes into the Twin Towers in New York City. And she was really adamant about this, and she was very passionate about this. And so she was a student. She got a full ride. Wonderful. I was so proud of her. So look, full rides and there are other students who've gotten full rides, but it's not based on going to some website, writing some essay, and hoping that you get 10 of these or 12 of these or 20 of these. I have yet to see a student get one or two of them. So this is very, very low probability. All right. So the best way to get a full ride: do well in school, do well on the SAT or ACT, and have a compelling story. Show that you're passionate about something over a prolonged period of time. Write great college essays, and then apply to schools that are a little bit below your target. Those are the ones most likely. Now, for her, I'm not saying North Carolina Chapel Hill was below her target, but she was the kind of student that they wanted, and she got in full ride. So that was wonderful. But generally speaking, the ones that are most likely to give full ride scholarships are the ones that are what we call safety schools. And so that's what I would do. That's my advice on that. I'm CK at CK Education. Thanks so much for watching. And until my next video, I hope you stay well.